Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Help promote and rank up my channel. I greatly appreciate any and all comments, all that stuff, likes.
Too precious for this world.
There's not much escapism to enjoy, but I'm thoroughly enjoying House of the Dragon. I've been behind on reviews, and usually when I'm reviewing stuff, it's like She-Hulk or Rings of Power. I'm not very positive about those.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
But this is one that I've been meaning to catch up on with reviews, but I'm so many episodes behind on the reviews. I'm just going to jump right into reviewing episode 7, Driftmark, and spoiler warning, I'm probably going to butcher these names because I have a hard time remembering their names, which is a funny thing when what's-his-name says, history does not remember blood, it remembers names. I tend to remember blood better than names on a show like this where everybody has weird names. This episode is, like all episodes so far, full of top-notch acting, awesome dragon scenes, brutal family infighting, and gross family inbreeding. As always, awesome sets with attention to detail, well-paced, captivating episode, attention given to so many characters across the board, and it just keeps managing to balance them out so evenly. Another captivating, well-paced episode. The show continues to be incredible. I have missed reviewing the last several episodes, but I'm enjoying most of it. One of the more entertaining things there is to talk about, and I really like talking about entertainment. I like talking about it more than anything. I'll annoy my wife with it.
If you want your sequel to become a franchise, never, ever...
Too often, like I said, I'm putting down shows because I'm very critical, I'm honest.
Liar!
I'm honest. I would like to just go into something and watch it like, oh yeah, that was good. Consume, move on. But as somebody that reviews stuff, you've got to be critical.
How to express your anger.
Yeah, and you're ugly.
Full on spoilers for this episode. Everyone is attending the funeral of Laenor, I think her is. Name is I can't remember. It's pretty tense in a sense that there's so many looks traded between all these family members, and all these family members, all the important characters are here. All the history, bad blood, so much is done with just subtle looks to each other. So much is conveyed, so much is said, like 10 pages worth of dialogue in just these short looks traded with each other. It's absolutely fascinating seeing all these characters together with everything that's transpired, everything that's to come. And Otto is back as Hand of the King. Glad to see him back, and surprised to see him as Hand of the King. Laris, the creepy Littlefinger Jr. guy, is now a lord after having his family killed.
You take my little hand.
No! Get it away from me!
Take it! Take mine!
There's a lot of dialogue to unpack, as well as dysfunctional family members doing dysfunctional things at a funeral, just like mine would. Aegon Targaryen is supposed to wed his own weird sister that can see the future, as is paid off in this episode. Everyone knows Rhaenyra's children aren't hers, and the king is the only one that insists it's not true, that everyone should just shut the fuck up or lose their tongue. Rhaenyra gets so hot and bothered by being at this family funeral that she fucks her uncle in a very gross scene that had a South Park song just running through my head.
You're the one that fucked your uncle, Uncle Fucker. You don't eat or sleep or mow the lawn, you just fuck your uncle all day long.
Didn't review the one where she was a teen and they started fooling around with each other, and I assumed that he just didn't go through with it, go that far, because on some level he's a decent dude. But no, now I know for sure he just had to beat some life back into his dick. And Prince Aemon, the kid that was being bullied like an episode ago, Prince Aemon Targaryen gets in a fight with the Velaryon children, Rhaenyra's and Daemon's children, and he just starts dropping children like left and right. He punches the little girl. His confidence was like really built up after claiming that dragon that little girl wanted to inherit, wanted her mother's dragon passed on to her. This stuff just gets brutal, and it's so epically entertaining seeing these little children go at it in this brawl. Like, this dude's taking on everyone, and it's pretty awful that he just, like, nails that little girl. And it goes too far with an eye for an eye mentality. Doesn't stop there. Side note, it's strange to me how there's always something in, like, Rings of Power that I can compare directly to House of the Dragon. Every time they drop a new episode, both of them, there's something comparable in there. In Rings of Power, you had a character almost losing his eye. In this one, you have a character losing his eye. House of the Dragon always does something better than Rings of Power, and they always do something that's comparable. Daemon loses an eye, if that's how you say his name, and King Viserys, like I said, I'm probably butchering these names. He's pissed at everybody because nobody was watching the children, none of the adults. This shit is like Carl from Walking Dead all over again. And Laenor is nowhere to be found. It was probably off having gay comfort sex with Carl, his lover, while his wife was all fucking her uncle. That's the kind of parents and adults in this show. Who the hell wants to know what everybody else was up to and why they were absent, considering in one room with the king shouting at them and their protectors not really knowing how to react? Just the escalating situation that sees Allison demanding an eye for an eye and trying to take it herself when denied. It's just really up there at the execution. This whole scene is just, ooh. Rhaenyra gets cut by Allison when she just goes off. Her son lost his eye. She just goes off. But the shock of her own actions, like, prevents her from going any further. Aemon declares it's all fair in the most mature action he does this entire episode. Hey, I gained a dragon. It cost me an eye. It was worth it. Laenor finally shows up. Again, if that's how you say his name, and he promises Rhaenyra to be better, more present husband, but in the end, the result is they fake his death. And it's the only thing in this episode that didn't surprise me is him running off with his gay lover. They faked his death so Rhaenyra can marry her uncle. God, this show is so fucked up. These people are so sick. It did feel out of character to me, though, for this guy who's always seemed like he's nice. He's always doing what's expected of him. For him to put his parents through believing that he's dead as well as his sister, that's pretty harsh. I don't know if that's within his character. And then again, he did spend years in this life he didn't want. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Awesome, amazing, greatly looking forward to the next episode. Seeing the preview, even though I tried to avoid it. And there's already another time jump. So many time jumps. They're like going through so much so fast. Sometimes I want it to just slow down a little so I can enjoy it more, because at this rate, I guess they're only going to have 2 seasons. I can't imagine it going on for several seasons, but maybe that's the intent Maybe I'm wrong. At least it's better than Rings of Power, where it's accomplishing nothing, or She-Hulk, where it feels like absolutely nothing's happening, except for cringe. This was thoroughly entertaining. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Are you enjoying this, or did you tune out? I can't blame you with the incest stuff. If you want to tune out of this and not watch it, or because Game of Thrones burned you, I will not blame you at all, because we went through so many compelling seasons of that show just to have it in the way that it did. God. Anyways, like, subscribe, stay awesome. Stay tuned for more reviews. Rock on.